In this video, I will explain to you exactly what the dichotomy of control is, so simply that even a 5-year-old will be able to understand it. I will also elaborate on the most common misunderstandings that skeptics and people new to Stoicism often have. The dichotomy of control is a concept that's so powerful that it can completely change your life and reduce your stress level significantly. But before I get into the explanation, I want to tell you a quick story that prompted me to make this video. Just last week, I was in London, on the London Underground, on a way to a concert with all of my friends. The trains were packed, so I was standing instead of sitting. Just before the train pulled up to one of the stops, I felt something on my leg, and the following events went by in such a flash that I can barely remember them. I quickly realised that my wallet had been pickpocketed, but before I could even raise my voice towards the thief, he had run out the doors of the train and they had shut behind him. It was obviously a well-rehearsed practice. I felt my whole body fill with rage as I realised the extent of the items I'd lost. But then a heavenly calm engulfed my body as I remembered the Stoic quote from Epictetus. It goes like this: "Of existing things, God has placed some within our power and others not within our power. Within our power he has placed the most important thing, that through which he himself is happy, the power to deal with impressions." It was incredible how quickly this realization had calmed me down. I couldn't control the actions of the London thieves, nor could I go back in time and stop it from happening. I could, however, accept the past and move on without any negative emotions. The dichotomy of control is an incredibly simple concept. It goes like this: some things are up to us or within our power, and other things are not up to us or not within our power. Here is a diagram that I use to illustrate this, and it gets rid of the most common misunderstanding that people have with the dichotomy of control. On the y-axis, you can see that all of the things that we don't have any control over, things that are completely out of our power. For example, our very first thought or reaction, the weather, politics, the past and the future, gas prices, whether there's traffic or not, death, family, growing old, and also other people's opinions. On the x-axis, we have all of the things that are completely within our control. For example, our second thought, our determination, our mindset, our actions, and trying our hardest, also our desires. A lot of things in life are a mixture of things that are within our control and things that are not within our control. For example, our body. We can control how healthily we eat and how much exercise we do, but we cannot control whether we lose a limb or not, something which is very common in Marcus Aurelius' times, or we can't control whether we get lung cancer or not. The outcome to events is always a combination of things that we do control and things that we do not. For example, there are some people who eat the perfect diet. They train rigorously and they've never smoked a cigarette, but still they get lung cancer. However, as you can see on the diagram, there is a block showing that there is a limit to what we can control. Without this block, we could just keep increasing our own efforts, which would eventually dwarf what we cannot control. This is impossible, and without it, everyone would achieve every objective that they've ever had. This means that even if you live your life perfectly, trying to avoid lung cancer, there's still a, although minute, chance that you will get it. And I'm sorry if this freaks you out, but Stoicism is all about seeing the world how it really is. An example that I use to explain the dichotomy of control is picture an archer that's about to shoot a rabbit. In his control of these things, how much he has practiced, his determination, his focus, when he lets go of the bow, and how hard he pulls back the bow. There are also things outside of his control: the wind, the rabbit's movement, the bow's unpredictable kickback. From this example, it's obvious to see that even if the archer has spent his whole life training perfectly for this moment, there's still a chance that a sudden, unexpected gust of wind will blow the arrow away from the target. Only an insane person thinks that everything is within their power. However, many of us act insane by thinking and acting as if some things that are out of our control are actually in our control. We are regularly confirmed to be partially insane as we hope and fear things that are outside of our control. You should ask yourself on that daily, what part of this is up to me? Act on what you can control and ignore what you cannot. This flow diagram exemplifies how simple the dichotomy of control actually is. You should first ask yourself if you have a problem in your life. If the answer is no, then why should you worry? If the answer is yes, you do have a problem in your life, you should then secondly ask yourself whether you can do something about it. If the answer is no, then again, you don't worry. And if you can do something about it, then you do that thing to stop it happening. and it leads you back to not worrying. And finally, the most important part about this whole video, and in fact the whole philosophy of Stoicism, you must remember that Stoicism is not a philosophy about talking, but it's a philosophy about doing. There's no point just watching this video without actually implementing it. There's no point making yourself feel clever by understanding these concepts without actually applying it to your life. Every single day, you should be asking yourself, is this under my control? What part of this can I change? I promise you, from personal experience, your life will change in unexpected, great ways when you actually start doing the things that you read about. Here's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. One of the most common bits of feedback I get about most of Stoicism is that despite reading the topic, some people still find that their emotions sometimes get the better of them. So because of this, I've made a short ebook describing the 4 Stoic tricks that you can implement into your life today that you can always keep your... And with this free ebook for a limited time only, I'm releasing the perfect Stoic morning routine so you can start each day the right way and conquer your day.